Hey everyone, we're the Jersey Comic Crew. In today's video, we're talking about The Boys Season 2, Episode 5. We're doing a review and breakdown of our favorite moments and what's to come next. Stay tuned. Hi guys, I'm Rob Moran, and with me is Chris Heller. We got a great episode for you. Like we said, we're talking about The Boys, for The Boys. This show, guys, we thought the last episode was crazy. I can't believe the things that were coming out of this episode. And Chris, I'm sure you're in the same boat.
Yes, sir. Love it. Love the that happy episode was basically like overly adult rated mature Home Alone.
Oh, right?
Like how Home Alone would have ended, kind of like it was. It was great.
I like that.
I liked. We got a little more look at Butcher and his character development, some of his backstory as well.
Mm-hmm.
I like that the boys kind of just, because it kind of ended season 1 where he kind of left and that was it, and he comes back and leaves again like that's it, and I'm like, okay, I guess we're not friends.
Yeah.
So they didn't let that go this time, which was awesome. More Stormfront action.
Well, let's talk a little bit about the Home Alone craziness, right? And
yes.
the Butcher side, right? Butcher, eventually goes back to his aunt's house to see his dog, and Mother's Milk and Huey go to meet up with him because they're not letting their friend go again. They want to be connected, and they want their friendship and bond to stay together, and they need each other, especially when you're facing the 7.
What did he call him, like, over the phone? Like his canary or something?
His canary, yeah. And then he heard a dog
and
toy.
was like, what did he say? Tell me everything.
Yeah, like that's some kind of code, I guess.
Yeah.
But the real dangerous part was when Butcher was about to leave the house again, we saw Black Noir. And Black Noir is a scary mother sucker. Like, he is a straight up assassin. So they had to buy time. They called the ambulance, said there's a gas leak.
Smart.
Trying to buy time to plan a bomb. And ultimately, the way they beat Black Noir after setting off 3 bombs, they're saying, hey, if you kill me or touch anybody, I'm going to show photos that Homelander has a bastard son. And they're like, okay, we're not touching you.
It was so great because it was the one time Butcher had to use his head.
Yeah, right?
Not as a battering ram, like he had to actually use his brain. I love the aspect of like, they set up all these like, random pipe bombs that are made like homemade with like nails and stuff. And it's like his aunt's house. So
and the aunt's a drug dealer?
She's a prescription drug dealer for old people, which is hilarious, making fun of our terrible healthcare system in this country.
Great.
So she's like, you could send it there, or you could come here for an alternative.
Exactly.
And Butcher's like, yeah, she didn't know.
And you notice at the end, right, when they're all driving off, she has like a Camaro or some like sexy ass car, and like you get a glimpse of it, and then you're like, oh wait, she got money. She's
rolling in it, man. I loved it. I love the kind of like he walks in, boom, he's not dead, keeps walking, boom, keeps walking, boom, like because he's basically impenetrable. I don't know how they're gonna kill him.
See, I have a question for you on Black Noir. I know you read some of the books, so you can't reveal too much. In this episode, there was a recurring theme that Huey reminds people of Butcher's family and Butcher of his brother that died, right?
Yes.
Or quote-unquote died. Mm-hmm. What if Black Noir is Butcher's brother?
That'd be crazy.
And that's what I was thinking. I was like, we had no idea who he was.
Anyone would see that coming. I don't think it's going to be.
I mean, why else follow him so adamantly?
Well, because that's what he does. That's his job.
I guess.
And he's very good at his job. And, like, the dude's hanging out on a rooftop for, like, 4 hours.
He's not moving, just...
Yeah. Like, you know how hard it is to keep... I can't even sit normally like this while we record for that long.
I can't.
You know what I mean? Like,
I have to switch to my right cheek, my left cheek.
You gotta booty shake a little bit, jiggle it out. But, like, he is just very good at what he does, and he is basically almost unkillable.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're going to make another butt nuke where they can put it inside of him and explode it from the inside.
I think we're going to find out a lot more about Black Noir. That's my creepy theory with him.
That'd be awesome.
I wanted to move on to the scene, the photo shoots, right? The movie scenes. Because they talk about a couple of characters. We see them filming this movie, which just looks god-awful. But, like...
Oh, absolutely.
A-Train is doing his goodbye scene. At first, he didn't want to. He was trying to fight it. And then ultimately, he's like, oh, if I don't do this, I'm not getting paid. Delivers his goodbye scene. And then at the same time, this PR garbage that they're forcing Maeve to say because she came out as a member of the LGBT community. She's like, and I'm gay. I'm like, nobody says it like that. Nobody says it like this. What are you freaking talking about?
You know how many gay people I've known that have never even said like anything even close to that?
I'm like, you're pushing this out there, and it's just garbage. And then like,
well, what was great too is that her like girlfriend even corrected them. She's like, she's bi, and they're like, yeah, and it was all like perfectly done business. Like, we don't give a shit what you are. Like, this is how
let's be Tess is better than bi.
Yeah, like let's change your look. Let's make you look a little more like non-lipstick. And
they wanted to change the girlfriend. And the worst part about it, aside from them just shoveling all this crap about like what you have to do because now you're gay and you have to promote this persona for the company, like obviously Maeve's girlfriend is upset and she doesn't want to do this. Maeve doesn't say a word and said closer. She's like, if we don't do this, Homelander will kill us. I need to take him down. You just have to swallow this and do it. Which is great because now Maeve is starting to pivot towards, I guess, the anti-Homelander side. Yes. So maybe we'll see Maeve and Starlight with the boys taking on Homelander and Homelander's new, racist girlfriend.
I would be, uber racist. I would love to see that. I would love to see Maeve because Maeve, out of all the characters, has kind of gotten the shortest end of the stick here, even though what she's dealing with is one of the kind of biggest monumental things to deal with as a human being. And on top of it, Homelander's in the background, like, clearly making all this happen because he's angry at her.
Now, when you say
he doesn't like that she's bi, like
when you say short end of the stick, do you mean the character and like what she's going through, or the show giving her stuff to do?
The show giving, I mean the show giving her airtime.
I'm with you on that.
And dealing with it, because out of everyone, I mean, granted, every episode's about an hour. We're already over halfway through the season. This is episode 5. There's only 8 episodes this season, and the next 3 are going to have to be cataclysmic in certain ways. But Maeve hasn't had as much screen time, even in season 1, right? It seems like she didn't do much. I think the
Deep has more time than her, and I'm like, are you serious?
And no one wants to see the Deep unless it's funny stuff like, dolphins flying out.
Oh, and now he's a brainwashed dummy of the church, and Maeve's going to use him, which is awesome.
That's going to hit hard. So, but yeah, like, I think with Maeve and Homelander, like, we obviously know Homelander is clearly racist as well, homophobic, very anti-liberal, very anti... not even just liberal, just anti anybody who isn't him. That mental scene where he like sees himself killing everyone.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that. What do you think about the video being leaked of Homelander killing this random powered person in looks like an African camp? I might be wrong, but it's some like small camp.
He just lands and like laser beams the dude in his stomach.
Exactly, and then he flees, and now people are protesting. And he's losing his mind. I wanted to get your perspective on this whole Homelander arc this episode.
I think the Homelander arc is brilliantly done to reflect everything going on right now.
Oh, okay.
And that's the most basic way I can say it. I think this show, surprisingly, specifically this season, has pushed the social justice issues, the political issues that we're all dealing with in this country in ways you didn't expect. You kind of go into The Boys kind of being like, oh, this is going to be a great, badass, fun ride with people who suck as human beings, doing crazy stuff with other people who also kind of suck as human beings, doing not as crazy stuff or crazy stuff to do for the right reasons.
Yeah.
I didn't see this kind of political push that other shows like Watchmen did kind of perfectly. New show Lovecraft Country on HBO is doing very well as well.
How is that? I haven't watched it.
Dude, the first episode.
Yeah.
If you ever wanted to feel what it's like, and this is total sidetrack, but if you ever wanted to feel what it's like being black and being pulled over by the cops, watch the first episode. Regardless of how you feel, that the amount of perfect tension and like uncomfortable restraint it takes for you to get through that episode is how a lot of us feel if you get pulled over.
So speaking of uncomfortable and feeling restraint, how did you feel about that weird, crazy sex scene with Homelander and Stormfront And
I loved
they're
every
killing
second.
each other, and like it's the ultimate BDSM of superheroes, and it's like,
wait, isn't that how everyone has sex?
She lasers him. He lasers her in the chest, like almost melting off a titty. Like, what is happening?
First of all, you delivered that perfectly. That should be in the Hall of Fame of hilarious. But you were just like almost lasered off a titty. It was so great. First of all, isn't that how everyone has sex?
I don't laser off any titties.
I didn't know anyone had sex differently. I thought it was very normal.
Flying in the middle of the air and like literally.
Hey, if you're not taking a weekly trip to IKEA to restore furniture, you might not be doing it right. It was nuts. It to me is two people who are high off of power.
Yeah.
Who are high off of entitlement, and who also feel like they can be themselves around each other 100%.
Yeah, because they're both narcissist, racist monsters.
Exactly, and the scene to me, the best scene and the worst scene of this episode to me is that really short scene with A-Train and Stormfront when she's like eating something but on set, and she's like, "Oh, I'm sorry to hear about you leaving," and he's like, "Okay," and she's like, some people just are better than others and just aren't cut out. And it was clearly a black thing, and he clearly, as a black man, was like,
yeah, she was referencing the church, right? She was referencing the church, how like they just let anybody in, and then like you picked up the not so subtle hints that she's talking about.
Yep, it was very much they came in and ruined the neighborhood talk.
Yeah.
And it was like really uncomfortable, and she wasn't even, to me, that wasn't even her trying to hide it. You know what I mean? That was just
her being
kind
coy, I think. You're being coy with it.
Definitely coy, but it wasn't like subtle at all.
No.
And he clearly picked up on it, and that was really awkward. But yeah, that last superhero awkward sex, but not a lot of sex scene, where it's more like just, I'm going to push you into this, and then I'm going to push you into that.
I mean, and it was kind of cool, because like, it's like, she's strong, and like, she's like hurting Homelander, and like, I guess they're getting into it, this rough, crazy, like, I don't think he's ever had sex like that. Like, I mean, no, I don't know.
I think like I said, I think it's two people with a lot of power, that are able to express themselves freely with each other because they're both the same kind of racist, narcissistic, crazy.
They're going to be the ultimate power couple of evil, and like they're going to be able to corrupt the world in a way that Homelander by himself wasn't able to. Like, we thought it was bad before. I think we're going to hit an all new level of bad.
I think so too, because I think she's going to heighten. We already seen it, right? Like the way he's like
the social media team.
Social media team. Like, I'm back up 53 points, and that is very reflective of today, right? Not just politically and everything going on. Social media dictates everything. I've learned that even just doing it for this podcast or this show, that how much it dictates everything and how like automatic I have to get everything out there, and seeing that in evil ways and ways that are terrible, like where it's like, we're really gonna talk around this guy who killed someone in broad daylight on camera, and we're gonna make it like it wasn't a big deal.
I can't wait for this next episode. It's gonna be gangbusters. Like, this episode was great. Like, it looks like everybody's getting their pieces in a row for another huge battle. I think we're going to see this next episode. I'm thinking we're going to see the Deep and Maeve enact some kind of plan to get Deep back into the 7 / take down Homelander.
That was the end, right? It was Maeve, and Maeve came by the Deep, and oh, that was great, right? Because he's like, "Hey, do you want a book?" She's like, "Fuck no."
Yeah. She's like,
"No, get that away from me." Yeah, I agree with you. I think that plan has to enact, and maybe Starlight hears it and like brings them to the boys.
Oh.
Which also means there has to be a hilarious scene of the Deep doesn't want to work with them because they killed Lucy the whale.
Yeah, that'd be funny.
And they're like having like crab or lobster for dinner for some reason, which would just be double funny. But I think something has to happen, right? Because also too many people know now the the Starlight side, right?
Yeah.
A-Train knows about Starlight. Stormfront clearly figured it out. We had that awkward scene with her mom who showed up in the beginning on set.
But I don't think Stormfront cares.
I think she does, because I think Stormfront, information is her power. And I think she has the information, and that triggers her power and her hunger for power, right? Like, she wouldn't be a social media tycoon if she didn't use it as a power to kind of bring Homelander under her wing. I think she could turn on Homelander in any second as well. Even though
I think she's going to use Homelander. She's using Homelander.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. Because he looks perfect for like Aryan race style hair and skin and
blonde hair, blue eyes.
Exactly. So it's going to be crazy. I'm interested to see if the boys get a couple superheroes on their team. I'm interested to see Stormfront and Homelander kind of they're power hungry, and Giancarlo Esposito in the background with Black Noir was awesome.
Of course.
Can't wait because he's going to make a move by the end of the season. So
yeah.
We'll see what that is too.
Guys, that is our review of The Boys Season 2, Episode 5. Thank you so much for tuning in. Let us know your thoughts on this episode down below. What was your favorite moment? And please tell us all of your theories for the next episode that's coming out. Thank you so much for tuning in. As always, I'm Rob Moran.
And I'm Chris Heller.
And we'll see you next time.
Make sure you like, subscribe, ring the bell. Jersey Comic Crew on YouTube.